Hey everyone, Burly Gaming here from the Arena Productions podcast, here with Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Finally getting to the little gameplay review. Sorry this took me so long. I end up beating the game and I'm kind of wanting to finish the game and then do the review on this. As you can see, it doesn't take too long, even though it's a Switch game, it doesn't take too long to load on in. Loading times are not bad on this game. I do have this digitally. This is not on the cart. But as you can see, they have reused the art style that they used with the Link's Awakening remake that came out a few years ago. And it looks really, really good. Now, one thing I'm going to just make quick mention, this game does have Amiibo support, but it does... The controller I'm using doesn't have Amiibo functionality, go 8-bit-do. You can only use a couple Amiibos for the day and then it locks you out, which is a really stupid thing. Like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, that had Amiibo functionality, you could constantly keep pushing them as long as they weren't the same Amiibo. And that was great. This, it's just very limiting. You get like 4 or 5 and then it's it. But what you get from the Amiibo are different outfits. Like I've got the black cat one you saw. This red tunic one you get for beating the game. But you get the different attire. So you can change Zelda's look up. So we've got a game as you're playing as Zelda. It's actually really nice to play as Zelda in something different. It's very familiar, but very unique. As you just saw, I spawned in a bed. This is the Echo system. You use Echoes, you will constantly learn them throughout the game. Make sure, they pretty much tell you to learn the first bed one. Make sure you get both bed ones, because they're great. You use them as good little platforms, but also you can rest and heal up your hearts. And in some of the boss fights that you'll get into later in the game, when they're moving all the way from the left screen to all the way to the right of the screen, you could hop in that bed and sit there and heal. It's a nice little tactic. You can also use them to distract enemies by taking a bed, if you're high up, having it drop on the ground, fall, smash to get enemies distracted so you can sneak away or summon your own enemy. So yeah, we've got this little... I've got the Lionel, the best of these Echoes you can summon. Costs all your energy. You can't get it to the end game, but friggin' I'm telling you, learn it. It is aggressive. It will just cut down through enemies, and when you get into that final boss, you're gonna want the Lionel. Just gonna say that. Oh, gonna say having a tough time getting that spider there. Now, have the Echo system, but after being a little bit, you will get the powers of Link. You have the sword, and because I beat the game, you got the little sword wave. You'll eventually get the bow and bombs. You saw I had that little energy gauge. You can't be in Link mode for long. As you kill certain enemies and in dungeons, you'll find little energy crystals to recharge the energy. But here's one of the most important things here, this little house. You can go here and you can get these mighty crystals and you can level up your sword and your energy. I recommend sword and energy are the ones you should level up. The sword to increase the damage, the energy, so you can stay in it a long time. Make sure you're looking for mighty crystals. The bomb and bow, I know if you upgrade the bomb enough, you get them to become the bomb chews. If you've played Ocarina of Time, you'll know what those are, and other 3D Zeldas. But as you can see, we've got the world map. I haven't been to everywhere. I've been to quite a bit. There's a lot to explore, but you'll see these little pins. You get warp points. Finally, in a 2D Zelda, you get actual warp points. So nice to have these, and I can just sit here, warp around. And the nice thing is, they put them in dungeons. So you'll get like one at the middle of the dungeon, one at the beginning, and one at the end. So you can warp around. So if you find the end of the dungeon, but can't get to the boss right away, you don't have the boss key, not a problem. Hit that little warp point, you go get the boss key. Oh, I don't want to travel back 7 rooms. Bring up the map, Boom, warp. So handy, such a great feature. Hoping they keep this for other Zeldas. So you've got main quests, but you also have side quests in 2D Zelda. Now, I've done a few of these. They are worth doing. You'll get stuff like rupees, but also you will, one of the bottles in the game, fairy bottles, that's the only way to get it, is through the side quests. It's nice, you've got a side quest system. You have this whole stamp card, which I got the 3rd out of 5. You just get an extra rupees. It's not hard to do, but it's like, eh. But you're going to get these items that are healing items. You can use them to heal, or you can make these smoothie items that, if you fuse them, look up guides, you get different effects. They're handy for bosses, but you don't need them that much. I only really used them for the final boss and one of the other last couple of temple bosses. Now you get accessories. The one you're going to get the first is the heart pin. I equipped this just so it'll help spawn hearts, but you've got one to help increase your jump height. Your little spin, you can actually knock back foes and do a little damage. And quicksand, so you don't sink in quicksand. The spin I use more for dodge. It can break grass, but it doesn't. I don't find it that helpful. It's good for dodging. That's about it in my opinion. But I really enjoyed this game. It was nice to have a 2D Zelda again. Having that exploring, figuring my way around Hyrule. And there's a lot of, if you've played Zelda games throughout the years, there's references to a lot of different Zelda games. So it's really nice. And the whole rift mechanic, going into rifts and closing these rifts. These are the rifts here. And closing them up and getting Hyrule back to normal. Really fun, really cool. I'm hoping... But there are some problems. You have a jump button. The jump is not very good. You're using the B button to jump, but I understand you don't really have jumps in Zelda much. Like on the Game Boy games, you had like items like the rock feather that allow you to jump, and then the other Zelda, it was like an auto jump for some of the 3D Zeldas. But you'll have times where your jumps fail you, and I find the accessory that ups your jump isn't that good. You can get a horse in the game through, you have to do a certain side quest line for it. You don't need the horse in to be able to rent horses and all that. I went fine without it. But another nitpick I have is these will show you where you need to go, these little pins. Sometimes they're pretty accurate, and then sometimes they're not. So don't always necessarily the exact point of the pin. I had one in the case of Jabu here, where the pin was like over up here, but I ended up having to go down near here to beat the next part of the quest in the storyline. So, and for every good battle echo, like there is the Lionel, some of the AIs of these echoes are really not that good. The bats, especially the keys, you have this whole bind mechanic, which you can use to hold enemies here. I'm just waiting on my Lionel to get it, but you can also use it for like puzzles. You can put stuff, follow. So now as it jumps and stuff, it can get me around. You will have to use and get used to this mechanic if you want to get through this game. Go, Lionel, go. Alright. And the soundtrack is great, as always. You'll get familiar tunes. You'll have tunes that have references to others. Great. But I think this is enough rambling of me going on about the game. I'd like to hear from you. What do you all think of this game? Did you enjoy it? Are you going to play it? Have you not? Let us know in the comments section below. Burly Gaming. See y'all next time. Bye!